Nigeria's 60th anniversary celebrations are underway, and despite the continuing impact of COVID-19, the passion and enthusiasm among Nigerians to mark the occasion seems to be strong as ever. For those who have been privileged to commit a greater part of their service life to the country, this sentiment seems to run even deeper, if not for anything, but for the sacrifices made to keep the ship of state going, in spite of all difficulties over the years. Joining us now to talk about Nigeria's journey from independence to the moment, from a historical and political perspective, is Chief Ayo Adebanjo, elder statesman, lawyer, politician, and chieftain of Afenifere, the pan-Yoruba socio-political organization. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the morning show. Thank you for joining us and for giving us your time this morning, Chief Adebanjo. Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
Well, thank you, sir. Well, Nigeria is celebrating at 60. The symbol, according to President Buhari, is a diamond, a strong, resilient country. And the theme is Together We Shall Be. And the celebration will be for the next 1 year. Well, how well have we done since independence? You were part of that process, pre-independence, the constitutional conferences, independence, and you've been a key player in Nigerian politics all through the decades. Do we have reason to celebrate, or we should be mourning that we failed as a country, as a nation, as a people?
Well, thank you very much. To those of us who fought for independence and who had the dreams of this country after independence, no need, we have no need for celebration, but for mourning. We should be mourning for our inability to achieve the goals for which our forefathers and founding fathers set for us. We should be mourning because after 60 years, we are not able to take care of our security. We should be mourning because the commander-in-chief of this country fails to take care of life and property, to protect life and property, by allowing Fulanis from outside the country to enter the country, to rape, to burn, to kill, and was telling us they are from Libya. What are you for? We should be mourning because our economy has been going down the drain. What was our naira 5 years ago, not to talk of before? What is it worth now? We should be mourning because the unemployment of the country is rising instead of decreasing. We should be mourning because the commander-in-chief who is in charge of our security turns blind eye when even internal insecurity is taking place. The killing in southern Kaduna by Fulani herdsmen in 2018, 800 Christians were murdered on Christmas Eve, to the extent that the vice president then was forced to relocate there. But the following day, the above was still done. Burn, rape, kill. There was not a single arrest made, not to talk of prosecution. We should be mourning because in spite of all efforts to keep our countries together, people were killed in Benue. Fulani herdsmen. Autumn went to the commander-in-chief and told him, I know these people who are killing me. They even said no to me that they are coming, the land is beyond their own. I know them. What did he say? He said, go and make friends with your neighbors. Those who are killing him, those who are mourning, those who are to mass grave there. We should be mourning when the commander-in-chief directed the Inspector General of Police to relocate to that such a place. For 3 months, he didn't go. Because after 3 months, the commander-in-chief knew that he didn't go. and there was no any act of discipline. But for pressure, even after the retirement of the Inspector General, the Commander-in-Chief didn't want to sack him. We should be mourning. So many, what are we? Our educational system has fallen. Health system has fallen. The roads are bad. Our airline has broken down. The shipping line has broken down. All the achievements of the First Republic by our founding fathers, no progress. Well, to you young men, you will say you are celebrating. To those of us who are old enough and who are witnesses to the clamor for independence, knowing that our indigents can do better than the colonialists, it's a pity that what we have now is a change of colonialism, British colonialism for Fulani colonialism. It's a pity. For me, no need for joy. We can only pray. We can only pray that God in his good mercy should change the mind of Buhari, who is leading this government, to restructure this country back to feudalism so that we can have peace. We are at the precipice now.
Yes, sir.
No, what are you going to talk of? Some people even say, oh, some people say, are you talking?
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask you a question.
Is there any interruption? I'm hearing some voice.
Yes, you're hearing my voice, sir. I wanted to ask you a question. You referred to the goals of the Founding Fathers. Can you tell us what those goals were?
I'm not hearing you properly.
Oh, sorry, sir. I'll repeat the question. You referred to the goals of our Founding Fathers. Can you tell us what those goals were?
The Founding Fathers?
Yes, sir. What were their goals?
Dr. Zikwe. Our founders of Dr. Zikwe, Saldana Oshokoto, Obafemi Awolowo. Their dream then was to establish a federal constitution through which can live in peace. There was crisis in the country that led the Lord Santos, the late colonial secretary, to summon them to Lancaster House in London, where they agreed to live together on the terms of federalism. It was that basis now that they were granted self-government. Those who wanted it at that time, the West and the East. But the North said they were not ready for it until 1959. But the colonial office said, well, you can have your eternal self-government, by which they created premiership at that time, and the constitution of each region was written separately, to the extent that they have foreign embassy in London. The Western region had the embassy in 15A, Kensington Palace Gardens. The first agent general there, not high commissioners, not to conflict with federal government, was Chief Emir Okudududu. The autonomy was so much that, well, development was competitive. But what have we asked then? So all the dreams that can do this, can do that, Chief Awolowo started free education in the Western region. He started 5 shillings minimum wage. It was the first government in this country to start a minimum wage. And for the 7 years he ruled the Western region, there was no one-day strike, either by private organization or the government. Those are our achievements. He built the first television in Africa. He built the tallest building in Africa, Cocoa House. There was farm settlement. Full employment was there. Free medical services. Integrated rural development. Those are the dreams that we are having. Scholarships were granted to our children. The aim there was to beat the colonialists. What they could do for us, we can do for ourselves. And the steps have been taken. There was competition around the state. Chief Awolowo built the Liberty Stadium. Ahmadu Bello built the Ahmadu Bello Stadium. The question of revenue allocation was settled at Lancaster House for derivation. The West had plenty of money through cocoa. The North had through groundnuts. the Eastern to palm kindness. And there was no question of how to divide our money. Everybody was moving on easily. And for all the development that chieftain had in the Western region, there was not one day he had to go to Balewa for subsidy because his revenue system was settled. That's what we call resource control now. If all this was done, which is what we are crying for that structurally, there will be no need for a airport to say they want to break away. There will be no need for investors to say they want to break away. There will be no need for this clamor for Dudu system now because people are frustrated. People are pushed to the wall. Our president concentrated the development of the country in the major appointment in the country to the north and to his village in Katsina. People claim, we complain. In the first regime, he said no, only those who voted for him is going to have it. And once you are the president of the country, our own view is that you are the president of the whole country. Nothing doing. He came in the second time, the same thing. Even the recent appointment in the customs, 7 senior appointments, all to the north. How can we say, how can the person like me who fought for independence, who fought for equality, who fought for equal participation of the country by all the federating units, have any reason for celebration?
Okay, sir.
Today now, if there is any admission to the federal institution, preference is given to the people of the north, lowering the standard. Qualified people from the south are rejected.
Okay, so if I can...
Where do I begin? Where do I go?
Okay, if I can jump in quickly, sir.
Yes.
I just want to ask you this. Would you say the coup that happened in the late 60s destroyed this process? Because it was after the coup that the system of government changed, the regional system of government changed. Would you say the coup had an important role to play? And secondly, I also want to ask you, looking back at the years, you're a man in your 90s now, sir. Would you say all the sufferings and all the sacrifices you have made and others have been worth it? Just those 2 questions, sir.
It has not been, if it had been worth it, I wouldn't have this complaint. If it had been worth it, I would have this complaint. And in spite of the fact that those who are there now don't know, efforts were made to correct them. In all humility, I said, as you have said, that you say, is it worth it? I refer to the president that the question of keeping this country together, I have a stake. I have made an investment for the unity of this country for development. And that I have been making it when the president was a toddler. I've been in this game since 1950. 70 years ago. The president is 74. And in 1979, where Boko Haram is now, to show you why I can't be happy with the situation, to show you what effort we have made to keep the country together in progress. The action group sent me there as a lawyer. I spent 1 year in Maiduguri where the people are killing themselves now. My party had a candidate there known as Paul Bassi. He died a few months ago. If we don't love the country, why should I leave the Western region to go to the Northern region? Not only me. There are other delegates of the action group all over the north, preaching the question of unity, preaching progress, preaching peace, until the military came. And when they came now, they overturned all the successes we made at Lancaster House to favor the north, the Muslim north in particular. The complaint we are having now, let our people know, is not the creation of our family fathers. It's the creation of the military, the northern Muslim military. This is an Abacha constitution. That is the emphasis we have been making. This is not our own constitution. They have not denied it. And we said, well, we don't want violence. Let's sit down together and again we want to live together in this country. If we want to live together, on what system do we want to live together? He refused. That is what is giving rise to all the disturbances all over the country. To the extent that the commander-in-chief, the country can't take care of our security in a situation where the government is now negotiating with bandits, where a governor of a state bandits goes to them and gives them money not to come again. Is that a country? In a country where the president will say, yes, I will do restructuring. Before getting to government, he gets to government, nothing to do. When I say each time, I have nothing personal against the president of Buhari. But this one, campaign for him in 7 when he promised to do restructuring. I have said it. I have challenged the additional who will defend any nonsense from the government to refute it, to ask his boss. When he was going to contest with Bakari in 2010, he promised restructuring. Even under this situation, which Tinubu and others foolishly go into alliance with him, restructuring is number 1 on the agenda. Where are we? When pressure was much, they set up a helpful fight committee to do restructuring. Where is the report? I mean, I have passed the age anybody that rule me by propaganda or by deceit.
Well, sir. Well,
all those who are there now are people who are born after. Majority of those who are there now, people who are born after we have had independence. Mostly after the military regime. So, passion I have. Many of them were grown up to maturity under the military rule. The military corruption. And again, here it is. This man came in under the mantra of wiping up corruption. Is corruption wiped out now? And you say, want me to celebrate? The corruption in this country now is worse than before Buhari came.
Well, sir.
And the exception, I'm saying it emphatically. Silva in his cabinet now was adjudged corrupt, and properties were seized from him.
Chief Adebanjo, if I may just come in here.
By the EFCC.
Chief, if I may just come in here. It's good that you made the clarification. That
you want to come in because I want to tell you why I'm sad, why there'll be mourning. But if you want to come in, come in. Because we are not just shouting for, we are not just talking for nothing.
Yes, but I was going to refer...
be patient. I am impatient for freedom for this country. So come in.
I wanted to refer to the clarification you made, that you have nothing personal against the President Buhari, because you've mentioned him repeatedly. I mean, after Buhari, there will still be Nigeria, and probably many of these issues we're dealing with will probably not disappear automatically. Now, you also talked about Fulani colonialism. Is Fulani colonialism, is it really real? Is it a fact? Isn't it the case that the blame for whatever faults, for whatever errors, for whatever problems Nigeria may have, the blame is collective? Are there other persons you would like to identify, or groups or institutions that you would like to hold responsible beyond General Buhari and Fulani colonialism that may be responsible for the place where we have found ourselves and the reason why you say you are sad with the current state of Nigeria? Certainly, I don't think it should be just one group or one individual that should be blamed.
Thank you very much, Zabati. You see, I don't want us to be living in denial. Why am I mentioning him? It's his fault. That is always the excuse when people talk that this is happening, that is happening. They say, well, not the man who started it. It was because those who didn't do it better were sent away. It's the man on the spot to make the change that we want. It's the man on the spot who came on the spot on change. You want to wipe up corruption. And I mentioned all the things he promised. And not the question of mentioning one person, that is passing the buck. When you tell him that the economy is bad, so it was bad before he came. Before he came, and you promised to report it, what have you done? If it had been a question of it was bad, this bad before, this is what I have done. The unemployment was so much before, this is what I have done. Then there's progress. But it's getting worse. But it's not a question of mentioning one person. All of that is the buck stop at his table. He's the commander-in-chief. He's the man who is... When I was going on to mention, say you want to come in, he came in under the mantra of wiping off corruption. And I was mentioning specific things he has done to show his... Those are the things you look at. It's not a question of just mentioning his name. The man was found corrupt. Now he will return the properties to him and made him a member of his cabinet with the same lawyer that prosecuted him for corruption. Is that the way to go about it? That the miner there, his chief secretary of the government, when he came in, Bashir was accused of corruption. It was by force, by pressure that could remove him. He set up an inquiry about him. What is the result today? The man is moving all over the place. That is man who said he has zero tolerance for corruption. But I'm not one of those anybody can bamboozle and say he's not the only one. Why are you mentioning his name? It's the
And yet, sir, you've made this point, and yet this minister continues to serve as the Minister of State. You have pointed out the limitations, or well, our poor leadership, and blamed it on a lot of our problems. What do you say about Nigerians as followers? Because us Nigerians, too, allow all these kinds of absurdities in our public life, and we hardly murmur. What is the role of Nigerians as followers?
Well, it's unfortunate. You are very right there. There can be no bad leadership without bad followership. I agree. But the leadership of Buhari does not give room for freedom of speech, freedom of action. Those who try to attempt criticism, you see what happened to them? What happened to Showore? Even you pressmen, you are doing internal censure. You see, under a free and under a democracy, passing the law of hate speech. If you publish anything, you are going to be accounted for it. Just typical of this man, the first time at the end of state, and he said, when you say you are corrupt, you are going to prove it. He didn't read newspaper. Himself and the man from Ilori was his deputy then. He said, thank you. He passed the decree, something there at that time, which made you pressman. If you talk, why? You are in prison. So how can anybody be encouraged, except those of us who before independence went to prison? During Babacha, we went to prison criticizing them. The atmosphere does not encourage a demonstration. I was looking at one of the videos recently of Nigerians demonstrating that no more one Nigeria in London. They were passing on the street. I just laughed. I said, you come and do this in your country. You find yourself in Kirikiri. That is the position we have. And when before colonialism, I was a participant demonstrating in Nigeria. I demonstrated in London for freedom for Nigeria. No harassment. Harassment. And that you find one of his cabinet members, like Mohammed, now telling you the hate speech. How do you define hate speech? And my lady asked me, what are the other institutions? What other institutions they do? In employment, or if you have any business with the government, you are not, they will crush you. Nobody, except those of us who are prepared to die for freedom.
Okay. But, sir, in all of this celebration, you said there's nothing worth celebrating as a country. But if you look at the logo of the 60th... No, I get you, sir.
What are you doing?
I get you, sir. If you look at this logo of the 60th celebrations, independence celebration, you will see a diamond. And the diamond there are the Nigerians. So are the Nigerians doing well, irrespective of all you have mentioned? I don't know what's celebrating, the individual Nigerians.
My dear, we are talking of diamond, 60 years of independence. We started, the Asian tiger started this freedom with us. You don't know, you won't appreciate what we are talking about. What are you talking about? Asian tiger started with us. They brought the seed of palm oil from this country. They are now exporting palm oil. We are now importing palm oil. My dear, if you are in my position, will you celebrate?
No, but I'm talking about I'm talking about the people.
There's no. What do you say?
I'm talking about the people, the Nigerians that are thriving. The Nigerians that are thriving despite all of this. The Nigerians that are making Nigeria proud all over the world. How about celebrating those ones?
Oh, I'm sorry if you say Nigerians that are thriving. Of Nigeria to our population. You don't live in denial. I see all this. The Dangotes are there, they are all there, they look at there. How many of them? We are over 200 million in population. How many now can boast of food on their table in the morning? We are not talking of the minority. We are not talking of the Lai Mohammed and others who are eating from the crumbs from the table. They won't complain. We are talking of those who are not sure of their breakfast, not to talk of dinner. That is what you should consider. We know that many of them who have their children in Harvard and others, how many of them can afford the local fees for our universities? Before independence, how much were they paying in the university? And before school, all the universities that have been at that time, what is their position now? During independence, University of Ibadan was known internationally. People international to study because of the quality of the education there. What is the position now? My dear, I know there's not, if I want to, I can write a thesis on the inadequacies, the reason why at 60 we should be mourning. Because we have plenty of opportunities available to us. The country is more divided now than before. Are you not seeing that? You are talking about people develop. Have a country before you develop, before you make any. We are more divided now than ever. Everybody was. And where in the country now can you sleep with your two eyes closed? Even the northern region, which was that it was protected, they are now shattering. What is happening in Katsina is upset. What is happening in Sokoto? What is happening in Northeast? Before, he said Jonathan was not capable of wiping out the Boko Haram. If you vote me within 1 year, I wipe them out. And for the past 4 years, he has told us Boko Haram has been technically defeated. But please listen to this, because there's reason for anger, there's reason for mourning. They have been technically defeated. They have been killing our soldiers like mad. Attack governors in convoy, not once, not twice. Killing soldiers in the process. My dear, let us tell the truth to Nigerians, so let us be aware, to bring pressure on the commander-in-chief to restructure this country so that we can develop at our space. To develop, to allow every fidelity unit to develop at its own space. this accusation of him, which he has not attempted to deny, that he doesn't want to do it because he has a private agenda of fulanizing this country. I'm saying it again publicly. General said he has not said anything or done anything to refute our claim. He has not even made a word. Senior citizen in this country, for the the country is at a precipice. Do something to stop it. Instead of doing that, what attacking the messenger instead of addressing the message. And you want me to be happy after 60 years of independence? With all the progress we made when we have self-government in the Western region, in the Eastern region, and in the Northern region. And yet, and that is even within the time of self-government. Now we have independence. We have everything, you know, we have everything. But because of bad husbandry, because of bad leadership, it was because we thought he could do all this in 2007. We thought he was the honest man, incorruptible. We supported him. We campaigned for him at that. But he was deceiving us all along. And when we say it doesn't behave like somebody who has integrity, people take offense. A man of integrity keeps to his word. A God will keep the promise. But we have given instances now of promising religion. We are going to wipe up corruption when your lieutenants and all that are corrupt. You turn a blind eye. Plenty of examples in the country. I mean, where do you go? Where do you start from?
Well,
and not in spite of his attention being called to it. Mr. Abachi, all these years you have been talking of restructuring, and they are saying it's for to break the country. When as my commander is you call, I say, oh no, you gentlemen, all your complaints on it's not necessary. It just standing back, just ruling of impunity. We are talking of devolution of powers. He now passed the water resources law to acquire more power. Oh God, only God will save us.
Well, on that note,
the country should be mourning and be in prayers for this president and APC to change their mind so that they can give us a constitution that will give us peace and progress. There can be no progress without political stability. And when there is no progress, there can be no development.
Well, on that note, sir, we would like to thank you very much for joining us this morning on The Morning Show. Big takeaways. Yes, Nigeria may have issues or problems, but the Nigerian government is saying diamonds are forever, and that Nigeria is resilient like the diamond, and that together we shall be. And we take away also the solutions you have offered: federalism, constitutional reform, political stability, and equity and justice. Thank you very much for joining us on The Morning Show.